Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ruby, this is Ruby Red, and today I have for you one of my favorite videos, tic-tac-TBR. This is my TBR game. I play it every month to help me decide what to read or to kind of guide my reading. I don't like to have a set list of books to read, so I have this game where I pick 9 prompts, I put them into a 3x3 grid, a little tic-tac-toe board, and then throughout the month I try and read books that are going to fulfill those prompts, whatever books I want. And then at the end of the month, for every 3 in a row that I get a reward to help me out a little bit the next month. So lots of freedom to choose, but I will share some possibilities with you when we set up my board today. As always, if you want to see more of this game, the playlist is linked below, and also a template that you can save to your own Google Drive, and then play your own version of this game. It's pretty easy, and I hope that you do, and I hope that you like it. So before we can talk about this month's TBR, November, we're gonna have to rewind and go over October. I said I was scared at the beginning of October, and I was right to be, but it ended up good, I guess. I read so much in October after not reading very much in August or September, so that felt really good. But how did all of those books fit onto my board? Let's see. Let me scooch a little bit. So my October board looked like this. We had on my shelf Takes Place at Sea, a queer romance, a 5-star prediction, a one-word title, a book pubbed in the 2000s, a Middle Eastern author, The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, that's my challenge prompt, and a contemporary. And yeah, I was scared just because I had a lot going on in October. I had my 75 hard reading challenge is still happening, which dictates some specific things I have to read every day. And it was also Squash That Series, which is a readathon that my friends Bailey and Kayla host, which is aimed at reading and completing some series. So that was a little bit focused, you know what I mean? So let's talk about what I actually read. In the order of me reading them, first I read a 5-star prediction, and that was The Burning God, which is the final book in the Poppy War trilogy, and I did give it 5 stars. Editing Ruby, I forgot to say right in here that I also read a book with a one-word title, and that was Hester by Laurie Lico Albanese. Oops. Then I finished a contemporary book, which was The Complicities by Stacey D'Erasmo. It was so good. Then I read a book that takes place at sea, and that was Mad Ship by Robin Hobb. That's the second book in the Live Ship Traders series, and most of this book takes place at sea. There were some perspectives that were not at sea, but for the most part, this book was at sea. Then I read a queer romance, and that was Something Fabulous by Alexis Hall. Then I finished a book on my shelf, and that was Nonviolent Communication by Marshall B. Rosenberg, I think. And that's just a book that's been on my shelf for ages. It's also one of my 30x30 books, so I was glad to finally read that and learn a little bit, think a little bit about compassionate communication techniques. I did read a bunch more books, but none that really fit these categories. So I'm gonna just take my reward from last month, which is my freebie, and I'm gonna use that for pubbed in the 2000s. I read 2 books that were published in 99, and then a bunch that were published in 2020, 21, and 22, but nothing in between. Anyway, that gives us 4 3 in a rows, which is really good, but basically I only allow myself to get a max of 3 rewards. And then if I got more than that, I can either take the just 3 rewards or I can add a challenge prompt. But because there's already a challenge prompt on the board, I don't want to add another one. So that is October wrapped up. We're putting it away. We're moving into November. And November is gonna be different because I'm not doing any readathons, although I am participating in my own way in nonfiction November. I'm going to be trying to read some nonfiction. I am going to be finishing my 75 hard reading challenge midway through the month, so that's going to free up a lot of my reading energy for whatever I want, which I'm really excited about. It has been a struggle to have my reading controlled like that, and I'm also going on a little vacation. So I'm hoping that I will spend a lot of time reading by the pool, but I don't know that like I want to be reading like any intense nonfiction while I'm doing that. So we're gonna try to find a balance as usual. And something else that I just thought would be fun is while I am picking out all of my books, all my prompts for November, I'm also going to try to propose a nonfiction book that would fulfill that prompt if possible. Some of them it won't be possible, but just to share some more of the options, the nonfiction that's on my radar, and if anything really sticks out to you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments so that I can adjust my priorities accordingly. I have already posted a video about some of my favorite nonfiction from this year and some of my hopefuls for Nonfiction November. That's already been shifting a little bit, but that's the life of a mood reader, okay? You just never know. So let's get into our screen record. Okay, first we're gonna pick my 3 rewards. I have still 11 reward options. Some of them are the same. They're not 11 different rewards. I don't know if that's ever been made clear. I think freebie is like 3 different rewards because I just couldn't think of that many, and I don't know. Wow, okay, number 1. What's that? Swap a prompt. So if I don't like one of the prompts that I choose for my November board, I can just generate a new one. 8. Reward number 8 is double up 1 book 2 prompts. Yes, I love that because so often I have a book that could double up, but I have to choose. So I'm relieved to have that option. And finally, number 5, which is double up again. Oh my God, I'm so powerful. Oh no. This is feeling like too much power, and like I'm gonna black out the board and have to add another challenge prompt. I better read the bell jar. Okay. Now for my November board, in truth. So I did actually go through and edit my prompt list. I took some out that I just wasn't feeling. I didn't add any new ones because I just didn't, but now I have 96 total prompts. So hopefully they're all gonna be good. And I don't even want to think about how many months the bell jar has been on this list. Okay, prompt 92 is, 2 trails. Okay, that is a viewer prompt from, or not a viewer prompt, but one of the prompts from Tales from Two Trails, Tales from Two Trails, which is the TBR game that Kim from Expedition Through Pages plays, and I don't think she has posted her November one yet, but that prompt will just be to fulfill one of her prompts. And the way that it works, I'll link it down below. It's really fun. The way that she gets rewards and like moves forward and back on the board at the end of every round or at the beginning of every round is that people comment on the month before and say what prompts of hers they have fulfilled and which ones they didn't, and then depending on whether or not she did or didn't fulfill that same prompt, she moves forward or backward. It sounds complicated, and I think it is complicated, but it's really fun. So yeah, that's gonna be my first prompt. Let me see if she's posted it yet. Okay, no, she has not posted it yet, so I'm not gonna be able to offer you my ideas for that because I just have no idea what it's gonna be. So that one is gonna be just left up in the air. Wow. Okay, next prompt is 49, which is Libby. Okay, this prompt means just a book that I got through Libby, which is my absolute favorite app on my whole entire phone, my library app. And I actually already have a nonfiction from Libby checked out, and that is How to Read Now by Elaine Castillo, I think. And I talked about that in my Nonfiction November video. And I did get my hold in for that, so I've got it and I do want to read it. So that's going to be my proposal for my Libby prompt. Although anything could happen, you know what I mean? Next prompt is number 23, which is Water Element. Oh, interesting. I guess now is a good time to show you. I have this stack next to me. of almost all of the nonfiction books that I have on my shelf, just so that I could be like present with them and like pulling them for some of these prompts. So the obvious choice for this, for a water element nonfiction book, would be Downriver by Heather Hansman. I think I called this Downstream in my nonfiction November video. But this is about water use and rights in the West in general. And it was recommended to me by one of my friends, and I am excited to read it. And maybe I'll get to it in nonfiction November. That's the most of a promise you're gonna get from me in this whole video. Is maybe I'd like to. Okay, next we have prompt number 28. Disappointing. Oh, that stinks. Maybe that's the one I'm gonna swap. I don't think any of these would be disappointing, and I don't want any of them to be disappointing. Yeah, we're not gonna dwell on that, and for now, that's the prompt that I'm gonna be regenerating. But we'll wait till the end to see. Okay, next prompt is number 7, Latinx author. Okay, I do have a book here in my stack that is by a Latinx author, and it's nonfiction, and that is Fresh Banana Leaves by Jessica Hernandez, Healing Indigenous Landscapes Through Indigenous Science. And this is, as far as I understand it, about why Western approaches to conservation are not working. They're not as effective as they need to be to like save all of us and our planet. And this book takes a look at how Indigenous attitudes and models can be applied to conservation efforts to make them much more effective. Informed by case studies, historical overviews, and stories that center the voices of Latin American women and land protectors. And Dr. Jessica Hernandez is a descendant of a Mayan group of people who are from Latin America. So there you go. Wow, there's something kind of interesting about talking about Indigenous people and also Latin America, which like the name Latin America comes from colonization. So just thoughts, that's something to think about. Let's pick our next prompt. Number 18. A classic. Oh geez. I don't believe I have a classic nonfiction available to me, nor do I have plans to read a classic book. So maybe I should reevaluate that prompt. But then I have to keep disappointing on here. I just don't know. Okay. Next prompt is number 50. Gender nonconforming author. Okay, that is not going to apply to the nonfiction that I have. This is all really environment based, not like social issues based, which is where I think gender nonconforming authors would be writing more nonfiction. So to fulfill this prompt, I'm actually just gonna have to take a look and see what my library has available as far as some memoir or social commentary kind of book. I know I have a couple on my want to read and or I've seen some of my friends reading some books that will fit this category recently, but I don't have any of them with me. So maybe that's going to be something I can double up with my Libby prompt, because yeah, if I read from a GNC author this month, it's going to be coming from the library, unless I go shopping. I don't know. Okay, our final prompt. Number 67, an intimidating book. I mean, most of these, let's be real. The Bell Jar, apparently. But it's this. Actually, well, it's this, but it's also, no, I don't want to talk about that. It's this. The Arbornaut. I talked about this in my nonfiction November video from this year and also from last year, because that's how long I've had this. And I do want to read it, but I'm intimidated by it simply because I've had it for so long, and also obviously because it's a hardcover. That always intimidates me. But yeah, maybe that's it. I also have some, there's got to be more intimidating nonfiction that I could get my hands on, but as far as the stack of what I have goes, and what I'm planning to maybe read, I'm not gonna read all of these, but I'm gonna try to read a bunch of them. That's looking like what's up. So now it's time to swap a prompt. And I think I'm gonna do a classic because it's possible that one of these books will disappoint me, but it seems like way less possible that I will read a classic in the month of November. Prompt number 71, our actual final prompt. Amy's viewer prompt, oh my gosh. Wow, so fun that I got both of my other TBR games in here. I don't think Amy has posted her TBR video yet either. Let me check. No, it's not up yet either. Well, it's only the 2nd of the month, so I guess I can forgive them because mine, as of right now, is not up either. So if either of those 2 TBR games get posted before I upload this video, I will leave the prompts down below that I'm gonna try to fulfill for those. But Amy's viewer prompt refers to a game of Bookish Life, which is the game that Amy from A Star Reads plays every month, and I'll link that down below as well. That's one of my favorites, honestly. It's so fun. It's just like a game of life, but she's modified it to be about books. And every month she generates all of her own prompts for the month, and then a special one just for the viewers, just for the fans. So whatever that prompt is, that's what's going in there. That is so fun that I got 2 other TBR games in here. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so that's that. That's my November board, my November hopefuls, possibilities. I'm really excited about a lot of the books that I have on the horizon right now, and I just want to dive into them. So really excited to be free of my 75 hard reading limits and dive into some new exciting things. I hope that my commentary on these prompts and the possibilities is interesting to you. I never feel that sure about how much or how little I should say about what I may or may not read because it's also up in the air, but I just like to chat a little bit about some options. But this month I especially didn't feel like I had that many options on hand or on brain, but it is what it is. We've got our board, we're ready to go, and I can double up. 2 books can each fulfill 2 prompts. That's like too much power. Wow. Maybe I shouldn't have let myself have all of that, but oh well. It's too late now, you can't stop me, and you wouldn't want to stop me, would you? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. As always, please leave some comments down below if you specifically want me to get to any of these, or if you have any recommendations, especially any nonfiction by gender nonconforming authors. I would love to get some recommendations in that direction, and I hope that everyone has a good reading month. I hope that a couple people at least are feeling inspired to get a couple of nonfiction reads in, if that's not something that's usually part of your reading intake. What? Anyway, yeah, okay, thank you for watching, thank you for being here. Every like, comment, and subscribe means a lot to me. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you back here next week for another video. Goodbye.